Hello, this is Michael Williams. I'm here today with Tapasya. Thank you so much for joining me. We are coming up on the latter part of our time together. We're wrapping up a 12-week coaching session, but you've been with me for a little while before that. So thank you so much for this opportunity to talk with you today, Tapasya.
Thank you, Michael, for having me. Actually, it feels really great that I have finally come to a place where I can share my experience with everyone.
Awesome, awesome. So let's get started by talking a little bit about where you were pre-Pro 90D, not just pre-coaching, but pre-Pro
Mm.
90D. How was life for you? What did you struggle with?
I majorly struggled in two areas. The first area was speaking on the phone, especially with strangers, which is funny because usually you should be more relaxed when you know that the person on the other side of the line does not know who you are, or that you get stuck or something. But somehow I used to panic, and I used to feel, oh my God, what if I get stuck? And that fear, made me get stuck even more. So I was horrible, almost horrible at phone calls with strangers. My next problem area was where I had to talk with my seniors in my office and in my organization. Those were really difficult times for me because I had this pressure which I created myself, that I have to give the perfect response, or I have to say the right thing and in the right way. And this pressure start used to build up, and eventually things just became worse, and I used to fumble a lot, and I came out as someone who is not so confident about what she's saying. So those things always made me feel very bad, and actually it went on lowering my confidence further. So
Mm,
that was where I was.
okay, okay. And then you found out about Pro 90D and me, and then you enrolled in our self-study. I think you did a boot camp or something, enrolled in a self-study. And how how did that help you?
Yes, I first enrolled in the self study because I wasn't sure. Because I landed, um, how I found you is that I was going through YouTube one day, and somehow I landed up in one of your videos. And then I got the link for Pro 90D, and I went there and I found things. And I remember the first day I just closed it and I just went. Then a few days back, I think I must have entered my email ID or something, and then I received mails from you. And then after a while, I think at that time, I think the self study was free. It was around a year back. So I downloaded it on my phone and I started hearing to the audios. And I tried doing some things, but I was not consistent. I was not regular. I did it one day, I did not do it 3 more days. So it wasn't working. And then I left it altogether. And then I think again, after 10 months or a year,
Wow.
I was again facing, not again, I've always been facing problems with my speech. And then I was like, let me go back to Pro 90D. I remembered your name. I was like, let me go back to this website of Michael Williams and let me research a bit more and give it a second chance. And this time the app was paid. So I was like, okay, it's okay, not such a big investment. Let me make a small investment. So I did it. I went through the self study, and this time I was more committed than I was in the previous year. So I did things. I started doing things like you told in your audios. All the things I used to take notes, I used to practice. but things changed a little, things improved a little, but not so much, because again, the thing, it was at my beck and call. I used to do it if I wanted to. At times I forgot. There was no accountability as such. And then I attended one of your boot camps, and it was there where I had made a small presentation, and then you gave me feedback on my presentation.
Mm,
And that was when I realized what would be the difference between the private coaching and the self study app.
wow.
Because the self study app, you have all the tools at your disposal, but you do not know which tool to use when. Like, you have a range of it, and you try to use everything, but you're not sure which tool would go where.
Mhm,
But in the private coaching, what you get, the first thing is accountability, and the second is customization. Because when I speak to you, you're able to point out my problem areas, and you are able to give me suggestions that, Tapasya, why don't you try saying this in this way? Or, whenever you are in such a situation, why don't you try thinking it like this, or, using this trick or this technique to get through the block? So that is the customization that you get, you know uh, in the private intensive coaching. And I think that is what helped me to, improve my speech, because I knew all the tricks and techniques, but I did not know what is more applicable for me. For
mm,
example, I used to think that airflow linking is not applicable for me, because I never had choppy speech. So I never used it. But, but then you told me what it is, and how it helps, and when to use it, and how to use it. And I started doing that, and I realized it is very, very applicable to me. So
mm.
things like that.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I remember when we first started, there were certain words and letters that you would get stuck on. I remember you used to speak at a higher pitch too, remember?
Very, very high pitch.
And used to speak really fast, right? And
Yes.
as everyone can see now, your pitch is a bit lower. You're modulating your voice well. Your speech is slower, much smoother. Uh, in fact, some people not that long ago, within the last month or so, do you remember what you told me someone said to you about your speech? I think they overheard you speaking in your,
Yeah.
yeah, what did they
Yeah.
say to you?
They told me that there is one very great quality that Tapasya has, which is very, very important for a sales professional, because I work in sales. So I was like, what is it? Then they were like, good communication skills. And I was like shocked. I said, really? I said, yeah, she speaks really well. You have good communication skills, which is very, very important when you are in a sales job. And that day, I can't, I can't actually, I mean, I never imagined that someone would say that my strength is my communication skills, which I think is the worst. So that day, I really got such a boost of confidence from that one compliment. It really, it just made me more confident and more positive. And that week, and I think a few days after that, I just my speech just went on improving like this. I was making phone calls and phone calls to strangers, and I was just nonstop.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. Good, good, good. So, yeah, one of the things, one of the focuses of the priority speech system is it's not to help you to stop stuttering. Believe it or not. I mean, I know people are
Right.
watching that because that's what they want. But the truth is, that's not very helpful for us to focus on stuttering and blocking and helping you not stutter and stuttering treatment. The focus is on helping you become a smoother, clearer, more confident speaker. And
Right.
if you can do that, then the stuttering takes care of itself, along with all the psychological aspects of it, the anticipation, the fear, the low confidence, and all of that. Because in an in a situation where it's between you and someone else who's equally qualified, you don't get credit or points for not stuttering. You get
Right.
credit for being an excellent communicator, excellent speaker. So um, you recently, we recently had a little gap of a few weeks between our sessions, and you were sharing how excited you were that you've now, in my words, have you've become really your own speech coach, so that now you can continue to take your speech to the next level. Share a little bit about that experience.
Yes. So this was the first time actually that, there was such a big gap between two of my coaching sessions. And in the beginning of 2 weeks, when this 2 week period started, I was a little skeptical. I was thinking, uh, will I be able to manage 2 weeks without Michael, without him giving me advice and suggestions and, feedback? And I was thinking, but then I was like, okay, I have to do it. So let me just give it a try, because anyway, this coaching program is coming to an end. So one way or another, I have to be on my own very soon. So I said, okay, this is my last chance. My program is coming to an end. I have made excuses in the past, but this time, for just this 1 month, let me just forget about everything. Let me just give up my excuses or whatever that stops me from doing my daily routine religiously. Let me for once give my 100% to this. I made that up in my mind. I kept saying it. And then I was like, no matter what happens, I will follow the daily routine. I will follow my day with a bunch of affirmations. I will definitely listen to Michael's videos, not one, but maybe 3 or 4 videos, or if not videos, then listen to his audios. And I made it up in my mind that I have to model every time I speak. Either I'll model you, or if it is sort of a casual conversation where I might not be able to model you, then I'll just do airflow linking. One way or another, these are the two things that I sorted out for myself. If it's presenting information, it's modeling. If it's a general conversation, I'll maintain airflow linking. So I just reminded myself, and every morning I have been doing around 10 to 15 minutes of affirmations. In fact, today I almost got late to office because I just kept doing them and I lost track of time. So yeah, so I was doing this, and then I saw that things have changed. I mean, my speech has been going so well in this past 2 weeks. I never thought I'd be able to do so good for so long without you, without your feedback. But
Hmm.
things are going really well. I'm making phone calls. I'm speaking to people, a lot of people in our group, in our previous Slack group, which is the River group now. So I've been speaking to people on the phone, 1 hour long conversations. I am speaking to my seniors, which I mentioned at the beginning used to be a
Hmm.
problem area for me.
Hmm.
And the change that I see in myself is when I go to my seniors, it's not that I have stopped fumbling or getting stuck, but I am now able to present the information to them in a structured way,
Hmm.
which is like a big, big, big achievement for me, because previously I used to go blank.
Hmm.
So it's not just that I'm not going blank, but I'm able to provide the information in a structured way. And if they ask me something, I don't go, oh my god, what do I say? In fact, I think about it. I am much calmer, and I'm able to address their questions, and I'm able to give them the answers in a very nice and relaxed way. And I'm like, even if the answer is wrong, so what? Like, even my boss must be wrong sometimes, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So these are the things that have now started coming to me naturally, about not being worried as to who is there, no
Right.
matter how senior it is. Things like, so what if I'm wrong? If I'm wrong, it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody is going to hang me for it. And the most important thing, now I constantly remember to model. Even if there's a time, suppose I'm speaking, within maybe a few seconds, my brain reminds me that you need to model, you need to model, you need to airflow link. So these things have started becoming very natural to me now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what will happen is the more you do it, the more natural it becomes, the less you'll have to think about it, right? So you won't
Right.
forever have to do your daily routine. You won't forever have to, like some people think, well, I have to do this forever. No, you're once your brain makes it automatic, you'll just speak this way. You'll feel this way. You'll be this way. And you can listen to audio when you want. You can listen to different kinds of audio, but several months down the road or next year, your routine will be different, right? It won't
Right.
be as intensive as it is now. But I
Mm.
think the key here is that you're feeling more relaxed, calmer, you're speaking more smoothly, you're thinking more clearly, you're speaking more clearly, you're feeling
Right.
more confident.
Right.
Yeah. Go
And I
ahead.
never had imagined I will reach where I am today in, just 2.5 months. So I
Exactly.
can't believe I'm here.
I want those of you who are watching this, I mean, you've seen I've done several interviews just over the last couple of months, and people are saying the same things. So this is not a fake interview. And I mean, we didn't even rehearse what you were going to say. All the things that you said, you just came up with that on your own. We're going to come back, hopefully do an interview in several months from now. And I bet you, as long as you continue to do what you're doing now, your speech will be even better. It'll be even better
Right.
because it's a skill. It's a skill that you're going to develop. Because people are worried about regressing. Like, well, okay, I spent all this money and I go through the program, and then within a month or 2 or 3 months, I regress. But what what I've seen and what I think you're saying is that you're now capable of carrying this forward by yourself. Like you know what to do now, and you know that if you do
Right.
it, your speech will minimally stay the same, which is great, or it'll get
Mm.
better.
Right. Yeah. I think what I've realized is that following the routine is very, very crucial, at least in the beginning, because there were times when I used to skip it, and because I was traveling and this and that. There were many reasons, but I have seen the changes in my speech after I started following the routine religiously, and the improvement is much faster than it was when I used to not do my routine regularly.
Yes,
And the most important thing is to stay positive, to absolutely believe in yourself that you can do it. Because once you believe in yourself, there's nothing else, there's no one who can stop you from doing what you want to do and from being who you want to be.
that's exactly right. That's pretty inspiring. Um, so this was a significant investment for you. And you've already talked about this a little bit, but someone's watching this video and they're contemplating, like they've been struggling with their speech probably for decades. The average person that I work with has been struggling for decades, at least two, 2.5, 3, 4. And they're contemplating, this is coaching, so this is going to be, a good little investment. It's not like a program. It's not a self-study.
Mm.
You're gonna pay a little bit more,
Yeah.
but people are thinking, will this work? Will this really work long term? Will it work short term? Like, will I get some short term results? Because you don't want to wait for a long, long time. So, will I get short term results? Will I get long term results? And does it really work for me? What would you tell them? Just, just in brief, what would you say to them?
Well, I think that, if you are struggling with your speech on a daily basis, this investment is, it's very, very, very less compared to the benefits that you would get, compared to the feeling of freedom that you would get when you're able to speak the way I'm doing today. You feel free. You feel that, yes, now I'm no longer bound, bound by my uh, weaknesses of being, not being able to say what I want to say. Even for me, this was a huge investment. But I was like, if this does not work, sorry, I like to rephrase that. I was like, if it works, then I'm going to get freedom for the rest of my life, freedom from whatever choppy, stuck up speech. And if it does not work, all I'm going to lose is the fees that I paid, the amount, and money is nothing. You'll earn money eventually. But if I don't invest, then I will only lose. But if I invest, I might gain something. So that is how I thought about it. Let's give this a chance. Let's go for it. If I lose, the only thing that I lose is my money. But if I gain something, I'll gain a lifetime of freedom and liberty. So that
Wow.
is what I thought, and I went for it.
Well, I'm not even going to follow that up with anything because I couldn't have said it any better myself. But it has been a real pleasure working with you. I have some amazing clients that I'm working with now, and part of it is because we've now created this what used to be Slack, but a river group. It's basically a community inside of a communications platform where you guys can talk to each other, you can
Right.
practice together, we can talk directly via chat, right? And so
Yes.
our communication is a lot more fluid and free
Right.
throughout the week in between our sessions and
Yes.
between the community. And that's created such a momentum that we can't even really describe it, right?
Right.
And it really helps everyone be successful. So
Yeah.
thanks for being a wonderful client. And, we still have another session left, but thanks for doing the interview. Thanks for your inspirational words. Any last words that you want to share or?
And I would just like to say that, talking from the investment point of view, that even if the personal sessions, the one-to-one sessions with you come to an end, we will still have access to the app, and also, the group where we can connect with each other. And every time I speak to somebody else from that group, somebody always gives me something, as in some advice, some suggestion. And the same works for them. I give them some suggestions, some advice, some tips that work for me. So that thing will always go on. So, and also, we can always get to you through the group,
That's right.
through the chat app. So yeah, so even if we do not get to have a video conference, even that, we have access to so much more. So it's definitely, investment wise, I think it couldn't be better.
Thank you, Tapasya. And we hope that this video has been a real blessing for those of you who are watching it. And we'll be talking with you soon. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael, for your support, and for, for helping me to be where I am today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.